dietitian here in New York. I'm also a yoga teacher. Today we'll be practicing some movements. I like to call it more functional movements as opposed to just yoga because you could use it in how you approach everyday life. So yeah, just follow along. I'll try to give as much detailed instruction as I can. But of course, listen to your own body, see what feels good for you, and yeah, have fun with it. So Julie, are you ready to get going?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, so if you want to play music, feel free to start your playlist from the beginning. All right, so I hope everyone has a mat at home. If you don't have a mat, you could use a towel for whenever we are on our knees. We're going to start in Hero's Pose. This is called Virasana. So what Hero's Pose is you're on your knees, your sit bones are touching your heels, but you're not sitting on your heels. So a lot of times you might find yourself when you're sitting on a chair, when you're typing, that you're just lounging, sitting on your heels. A lot of times you find that you're in your tailbone, and that's not really sustainable. Your kidneys are over here. Your kidneys contain your adrenals. Adrenals give you that adrenaline rush to get you going. So right now you're kind of cramping your kidneys a little. So what you do is you tip a little bit forward. Put your hands on your lap. We're just going to move a little forward and backward, just so you can kind of get a feel of the middle. The middle is your perineum. It's where the opening of the vagina is, or in between the scrotum and the anus. That you can imagine a golden thread running down from the top of your head all the way to the ground, connecting you to the universe above and connecting you with the ground below. So if you've done yoga, you can do the cat-cow, warm up your spine. So this is cat, this is cow. Similar shape, just a different plane. You can inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We're just lighting a fire to our perineum, get ourselves moving, especially you've been sitting and you haven't been walking around or moving around. You want to move that stagnant energy. You want to move your waters, clean your waters, flush it out. Big breath in, big breath out. Now, let's put our hands to our shoulders. Now we're going to inhale into our heart and exhale out to the world. So inhale, exhale. Try to breathe all through your nose. Inhale, exhale. You could keep the tip of your tongue touching the top of your palate. That's called the connection of the microcosmic orbit. So connecting the universe inside yourself. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So before, when we were moving forward and backward, that was lighting up the ground floor, the basement. Now we're on the second floor. And I'm using this metaphor, our body as our home, because our bodies are not our temples. We don't live in a temple. We live in our homes. So we want to be comfortable in our bodies. We want to feel good in our bodies. So we've got to keep it clean. So that's how we're doing this breathing, getting all the excess out, and breathing in fresh prana, energy, life force. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now, inhale up your arms. And you could keep them close together like this. I move back a little so you can see cups to my hands. Or you could crisscross them so that way, ooh, that feels good. Make a little space on your side. Make sure your ears fit in between your arms. Finding spaciousness and confinement. And now same thing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Sweep, 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 sweep. Sweeping out your house so everything is clean. So the bottom floor is your structure, your stability, your foundation. Your middle floor is your capacity, your voluminous. And the top floor up here is your vision, looking out into the world. Your left eye is the innocence of vision, your right eye hones in. Together, appreciate the present, and using your memories to potentiate you into the future. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Release your arms, a big V for victory. Create little cups with your hands, allowing all the blessings to fall down and catching them with the little cups you've made with your hands. Big breath in all the way to your belly, and let's sigh it out. One more breath in, and sigh it all out. One more breath in, hold it full, hold it up top. 3 more sips. Hold it full, tuck your chin in. Exhale through the top of your head, release your arms, no drama. Just observe your body. If you feel anything, just notice it and let it go. Feelings ebb and flow. Feelings are constantly shifted, so you can't depend on your feelings. But having good technique, that gives you insulation, that gives you safety. So it's important to learn good technique. All right, let's get started. So let's get into a tabletop. So hands and knees. So making sure you have right angles. So how you measure the distance between your hands, you could touch your middle fingers together underneath your sternum, the middle of your chest. Bring it back out. There we go. That should be shoulders distance. And then your feet's distance, we'll notice this later in down dog. Basically, if you could put your heel of your foot onto the ball of your foot, that's pretty much hip distance. So align your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And then we're going to take that same movement before, looking up for cow. Nice deep stretch for cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. I love this position because you're really stretching out your entire spinal cord, waking it up. Big inhale, big exhale. You can move a little faster. It feels good to you. You can move it to the side. Whatever feels good right now. Finding spaciousness in the pose. Move forward and back. Go all the way back, make a big circle. Don't forget your neck, but of course be gentle with your neck. And now we're going to take our right hand, and you're going to swim it all the way up and around. And when you put it back down, the back of your wrist is pointing to the front of the room, and your fingers are pointing towards you. Now you're going to do the same thing with your left hand. And bring the right hand back. Bring the left hand back. Bring it behind you. And bring it back around you. Going for a little stationary spin, like how we use our stationary bikes. Really opening our shoulder joint in every direction. Make sure that you have enough space between your wrists so that you're not too close or too far apart. So boundaries are important. And right now, when you're wrist, wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist under shoulder, you make space for your collarbones. And that right here, it frames your lungs. And lungs are important for breathing, of course. Lungs brings all that energy into your body so that it could distribute to every different organ. Keep on swimming. If this is too easy for you, you could step out into a plank and swim from a plank. Keep your core activated. Try to keep your hips stable so your hips aren't like going with you every direction. Your hips are anchored to the floor with the balls of your feet. All right, now relax. Let's sit back on our toes. Flick out our wrists. Swing our arms to the side. Inhale, rotate your thumbs back. Exhale, bring it all forward. Inhale, thumbs up and back. Exhale, bring it all the way forward. Inhale, thumbs all the way back. If you bring your hands to the front, hey look, it's the flip wrist. So you see when you inhale, it's so much easier because you have all that space in your collarbones. Same idea when we're in our tabletop and our wrists are flipped. So let's go back to tabletop with our wrists flipped. Let's do a few more cat-cows. And now let's do some hip rotations. So you're rotating around your waist, stirring your waters from below, waking up that latent energy at the base of your spinal cord. All right, let's sit back on your heels, claw your fingers forward, child's pose. You can make your knees a little wider. You could sway a little side to side. I'm on my fingertips. I like it so I'm not just falling into my forehead and my shoulders. That could be pretty deep stretch. So I like giving my shoulders boundary by being on my fingertips. All right, hands on the mat. Let's step out to a plank. From a plank, bend your knees as much as you can, as if you're preparing for a pounce. Keep your eyes forward, because when cats pounce, they look like they're about to jump on something, so they keep their eyes forward so they could keep their eyes on prize. And then stick your butt up as high as you can. Heels up, butt up. Your heels are the butt of your foot, so if your heels are up, your butt will be higher. And from here, shift your hips forward into a plank. And now pick up your hips, bend your knees, pick it back up into a down dog. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, plank. When you're in a plank, you could measure your feet. Make sure the ball of your foot, the heel of your foot touches the front ball of your foot. Then you know your hips width distance apart. So down dog is not too wide. Inhale, dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale all the way to a dog. And let's take your right hand and put it on your sacrum. So one-handed dog. Really testing that you're in your legs. You're not relying on your shoulders for your down dog. Switch hands. Push up with your legs, bend your knees, push up, release. Come down to your knees, sit on our toes. Let's shake out our wrists. Shake, shake, shake. We store a lot of tension in our wrists because we're always typing, we're on our phones, and the wrist has similar joints to your ankles and your neck. So whatever you see in your wrist, it'll also appear in your neck. Left wrist. Bring it high into the air. Right wrist. Now both. And relax. And observe. Do you still feel your toes? Do you still feel your feet? Now release your toes. And now this is going to be painful for a lot of y'all because most people never stretch the tops of your feet. You could go on the tops of your feet. Maybe you could do circles with your knees. Or maybe you're just leaning back a little. You just rock back and forth. This is going to save you that foot massage. Not that you could go out and get one right now anyways, but now you know how to do a foot massage at home. All right. Now let's go back into our plank. Find our down dog. And now let's walk our feet to our hands. We're going to be in our first forward fold. How you measure your forward fold? Again, you want hips width distance. So you take 2 fists, put it in between the arches of your feet, and squeeze your fists with your arches. And that's hips width distance. Bend your knees a lot, as much as you need to get your chest onto the tops of your thighs. Once you're there, relax your neck. You could bring fingertips interlaced behind your back, or you could bring them behind your neck. That should feel really good. Try to make as much contact between the tops of your chest, tops of your thighs, and your chest. Maybe rock a little bit forward to the balls of your feet. Rock back to your heels. Balls of your feet, heels. And now, unfold. And bend your knees, go back down. Unfold. Keep your knees bent, pushing up with your legs, and crouching down. And unfold, pushing up with your legs. And now we're going to put our feet together. Interlace your fingers here. So you're standing, but I'm just going to show you so you can see my hands. Directly above your head. So you have like a little altar in your hands. Your arms are framing your ears. And you're standing tall like a mountain. And you have a throne sitting on your hands. You are the king of the mountain. Big breath in to your belly. Big breath out. Making sure every one of your fingers are interlaced. Pinkies are interlaced. Thumbs touching. You are the king of the mountain, standing at the very top, able to see all around you. Bring attention to your perineum, feeling the golden thread run through up the back of your spine. Bring your attention to your right eye. Your right eye is the overview, the reaction. Now open your left armpit. Your left arm, your left lung represents the heart. Bring your attention to your left eye. Your left eye is the innocence of vision, looking out from your lunar side out into the world. Now bring your attention to your chest, soften your chest, your personal shrine. No tension there. Notice your right foot. Is it firmly planted on the ground? Do you feel all 4 corners of your foot touching the ground? Now open your right armpit. Breathe. Your breath and your imagination will get you there. Lift the right heel. Lift the left heel. Get on the balls of your feet. Walk back to the heels and forward. Now maybe you could twist around. And once you twist around, maybe you could stand a little taller. And release your hands slowly. There's no rush. Now with our hands at our side, this is mountain pose. Really savor being here, just standing. So simple. Feel all four corners of both feet firmly planted on the ground. Grounding. Why is it important to ground? Grounding means finding stability, finding your foundation, rooting into the ground. And only when you're rooted can you rise back higher. So from here, bend your knees, sit into your chair, raise your arms high. Exhale, fold over. See if you could step on your palms. So you need to bend your knees a lot to fit your palms underneath your feet. And maybe if you're comfortable here, maybe you could take a little walk, a little waddle. This really gets into your wrist joints. And relax. Keep your knees bent. And maybe you could slip your hands underneath your heels. Maybe move a little closer. How does that feel? If this is too much, you can always interlace your fingers, get behind your neck. These are very deep hamstring stretches. All right, so now you're going to slowly find your feet to the ground. Extend your legs out. Keep your knees bent. Only extend as much as you need to so that you can either use your peace fingers to grab your big toes or use opposite hands to grab the entire bottom of your foot. And then relax your neck. Bend your knees as much as you need to touch your chest onto the tops of your thighs. Inhale, exhale. Big breath in, all the way to your belly. Exhale, maybe you could press your chest a little closer to your thighs. Bring your knees into your armpits, making a lot of contact with yourself. Big inhale. And on your exhale, slowly walk your hands back up. Big breath in. Big sigh to let it all out. Now, the last thing I want to do with y'all before we depart, you could either sit cross-legged in easy pose, The only thing with sitting cross-legged is that because a lot of us aren't sitting on our perineums like you see like babies do, they're naturally like just seated, we tend to slouch back after a while. So you could try scooting back a little so you find your perineum. So you root into your perineum, so your spine rises up, you get that nice little crescendo in your back, so you're straight. Or I can meet you back in hero's pose. And now you're going to take, you can use your right hand, and 2 fingers on your forehead, thumb out. And you're going to use the inside knuckle of your ring finger to hold down your nostril. Inhale through your right nostril. Press down with your thumb. And exhale with your left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. Press down with the ring finger. Release the thumb. Exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Press down your thumb. Exhale through the left nostril. Inhale. Press down, switch sides. And exhale all through your nose. This is called Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Awesome way to slow down your heart rate, calm you down. Very simple. They say when you breathe into your left nose, you bring energy into the right part of your brain. Breathing into your right nostril, you bring your breath into the left side of your brain. So this controlled breathing, when you realize that nothing in the world is under your control except for your own breath and your own decisions, that's when you find your personal power. Bring your hands together. Thank you so much for taking this time, this little belly breath break, taking deep breaths into our belly. It's important to remember that a lot of the times when we're nervous, when we're excited, we take shallow breaths out through our lungs. Let's put our hands flat against our chest. So we can feel the breath in our lungs. But then give our breath some extra time to reach all the way into our belly before it comes back out, just to slow us down. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.
Thanks so much, Linda. That was awesome. So thanks everyone for joining us. Linda's a good friend and awesome yoga teacher and nutritionist dietitian. Also want to make a plug for her. She's doing this generously for free for us for TAP, but she also runs an organization called Bodhi Friends. And so for these classes, any money or any donations she's taking, she's going to be donating directly to them. So Linda will post her Venmo in this chat. And if you're able to donate $8 or whatever you can, she's donating that completely to Bodhi Friends. And maybe Linda, if you want to just share a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, so Bodhi Friends is a new organization that me and my friends are putting together. And what it does is it brings practical Dharma, ways that you can incorporate more meditative practices into your everyday life. And that's through a lot of youth events and media. So really focused on Asian American youth in the New York City area. So yes, definitely check us out, Bodhi Friends NY on Instagram and Facebook as well for upcoming events. And we do have another Bodhi Friends TAP event on Monday evening. So there I will be leading y'all through a guided meditation And also we'll have a discussion on foods to build your immunity and how to eat mindfully, especially at this time when a lot of us are stuck at home. So how to keep sane as well. So we'll be having that talk with TAP and with Bodhi Friends on Monday evening at 8 p.m.